2, 1, and there's an error that occurred on your guest
That's
destination.
mine. That's on
Inform
mine.
them so they can fix it.
That's what I'm doing it right now. Fixing it now. I'm fixing it now.
And we're live.
Yes.
Tony D, what's going on?
Trying to get this title right so I can share what you got going on. So my apologies for the error and or delay.
There's no problem there. What's new? What's going on in your world? This is Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. We have Tony D, who is a knucklehead for life. Interesting broadcast. The one that preceded us on artificial intelligence and the like.
We could talk about that real easy. I have my reservations about it as well. Okay, Twitch just popped up. The thing with AI, and actually, I'll let you finish the narrative, then I'll go in.
No, it's just couple topics tonight. I wanted to talk about the migrant crisis. I mean, the two big stories going on in the world: migrant crisis and debt ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll park them for now, because on Carmen and Rick's stream, they had a wonderful guest up there who was talking about artificial intelligence and all the different industries that now, these companies are using that skill set, that tool, that program, whatever you want to call it, that AI to, I don't know, do the job smarter and faster and more efficient and quicker. And
it's more economical for the business owners. Absolutely. It's definitely ill.
Well, you got to think about it this way. AI doesn't call in sick. AI doesn't need a benefits package.
Exactly.
AI doesn't need health insurance.
Exactly.
It's
AI. AI ain't complaining. AI ain't going to be lazy. AI don't take a lunch break. All of that. Yes.
AI doesn't need compensation adjustment or a merit increase.
Yes.
So let's put those things into perspective for AI. Yeah, it's with technology, you got to embrace it. You got to be in tune to what's happening. You got to watch what's going on.
You got to be ready for it, because it's coming. Period. That end of story. And I hate to say it like that on purpose, but
I think another question is, you and I have talked for the last several years, and Rich Valdez preceded you when we would do the radio show on WGBB 95.9 FM here on Long Island. And we always talked about skill sets. We always talked about needing a specific skill set as these job requirements are changing. Because 30 years ago, you could get away without using a typewriter.
No, you couldn't.
Well, 30 years ago, you can get away without having specific computer skills, but as long as you were able to type.
Yes, you can have type of skills, but you didn't have to have computer skills. Yes.
Right. Now, it's a prereq. So I'm just saying, you got to be smart, because the skill sets are changing by the minute.
Everything's going to be technologically advanced, and people got to get caught up on technology. 3 years ago, when the pandemic hit, the problem we had with online schooling was even a lot of the teachers weren't privy to what was going on. I'm talking to the other app, Helen. How you doing? People on the other app, I got them watching as well. I was actually going to put up one more, just trying to throw the show out there. A lot of the teachers weren't
Helen, how you doing?
With the Google Classroom, if you will, Even a lot of kids and their parents didn't know. One thing that happened during that whole global shutdown, and I will say it like that on purpose, everybody had to learn how to work a computer. Everybody. You had to learn how to teleconference. You had to learn how to
multitask.
Yeah, you had to learn how to multitask, absolutely. You also had to learn how to spell. I'll say it. Everything. You had to learn all of that. So everything was falling into place. I actually remember telling my wife back then, we should invest in video conferencing because I could see that whole market skyrocketing. Tell me I'm wrong over the past 3 years.
No, I mean, the video conferencing was always there because, like,
but we didn't need it as much. We didn't need it as much. People who were not in the technology world or the business world, or who didn't have to have all the meetings all the time, you didn't need it as much as you did during the pandemic. Everybody had the damn near video conference. The teachers were video conferencing with the kids.
Right. But what I'm talking about is it was more hardware specific. It was a heavy emphasis on hardware and not so much on the software. And then what we noticed a few years ago that it just flipped where, okay, so 10 years ago, we were talking about cloud. Everything's cloud.
Yes.
Because we had a hard time keeping this equipment updated, keeping the latest and greatest. So they said, hey, we're going to take this emphasis from you. We're going to put it behind this wonderful curtain, and we're going to manage this, and we're just going to give you the software.
Yes.
And from 3 years ago, we weren't, a lot of people weren't doing this. A lot of people didn't feel comfortable. 3 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago. Tim, how you doing?
Tim Conrad, what's good, man? How you been? A lot of people didn't feel comfortable social media and video conferencing. They didn't. People had to get used to it. That is a side effect of the global shutdown. People had to get used to being online, talking to folks, communicating with folks, video conferencing, learning technology. That was pretty much a side effect and a byproduct of what was going on because they made everybody stay home. They shut everything down. I actually tell people a lot, when people talk about planning something ahead of time and go through with it, you have no excuse if you don't. That situation tells everybody you don't have to have an excuse. Something will shut you down. You have no excuse of not understanding when people can't make things happen the way you want them to.
I'm just going to say there was always a subset of people that did embrace the technology.
Yes.
It was a small subset.
Yes.
So let's just say of that subset, let's say 20%. And I'm just throwing out hypothetical numbers. 80% say did embrace that and had a much harder time dealing with it. But now we're running into situations where people are comfortable with using Zoom and Teams and whatever else. But it gets to a point now with AI, the game continues to change even more because, hey, now someone or something is doing your specific job, your function, even more efficiently.
This is also going to take away a lot of jobs from people. Carmen, how you doing? It's going to take away a lot of jobs. That was the biggest fear. It's going to replace actual people up there. That's a great excuse to never do anything ever again. Oh, well, something might stop me. For the procrastinators. I agree with you. Procrastinators.
Tim says the lockdown helped streamline a lot of the technology too, like telehealth and such. Correct.
I also emphasize teleworking being legal. I think that is a great asset, honestly.
Teleworking being legal? Like you're talking about telehealth or?
No, teleworking being more prominent and more legal because people were against it. I am actually a proponent for teleworking because.
Hey, Carmen.
Especially for the parents. Because you can't always get to work early when you got to get the kids to school. You also got to leave when the kids got a situation where you need to be home before all of that, especially for parenting. I am a big proponent for it. The telehealth, I know it came up. A lot of doctors prefer to see you face to face. It does help with the more accurate examination for things that they're liable for and how they have to properly diagnose you. I don't have a problem with telehealth, but I can see the little gray area with it.
Big question is, were they able, yes or no, to still receive their copay, and were they able to bill out? Yes, they were.
Say what?
I said, were they able to still receive their copay, which allowed them to bill out?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. You know, it's
I feel you on that. I didn't think about it, but I
it's
feel
like,
you on that. Yes.
Doc, my tummy hurts. Okay. Here's what I'm going to prescribe to you as I'm looking at you on the screen.
Yeah, but you may have a new situation, new condition, which will give them a misdiagnosis, which also give them a malpractice lawsuit. So yeah.
Yeah, it could.
Follow-ups, I agree with telehealth. Initial diagnosis, I kind of got to see things their way.
So what about the times when you have to see your doctor and to get that prescription refilled?
I think those can have some leeway, but there's a gray area to it. When I realize how much the stuff doctors got to go through and to try to avoid a malpractice lawsuit, I try to give them any help. And I go to the doctor a lot myself.
Mm-hmm.
They need to see you. They need to look at you. They got to check your vitals in the first place. And I'll go ahead and be honest. Some of these folks out here be lying just to get pills.
Okay.
That's why they took their Percocet off the market. Y'all jokers to mess up the game for everybody. Go ahead, man, before I start rambling. I ain't trying to.
And that was sponsored to you by Tony D. That last comment.
Exactly.
So, Carmen, great stream. We were just talking about it. We were talking about AI. We were talking about the aspect, and thank you for allowing me to ask the question to your guest about what scares him about AI, because everyone who's any type of professional, maybe the word scare is not the appropriate one. What causes, a person to feel a specific way about a new technology that's out there that is ultimately is going to reduce jobs?
He gave a great answer, Ted. Honestly, he really did.
He did give a really good answer. He did. But I'm just saying, we're dealing in a society that there's a certain skill set that there's a gap. If there wasn't a gap,
based on the original purpose of AI, we may be misinterpreting. That's why I liked what he said. He was like, people are scared. They got to get used to the adjustment. They're going to have to come with the times. He's actually correct. The problem we have with AI is people are worried about them losing their jobs. We also got to worry about people impersonating us.
Okay, that's true. But I'm primarily talking about there's already a skill gap.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough people to work these cybersecurity jobs. We don't have enough doctors or lawyers or teachers or there's certain skill set jobs that gap remains, and I'm wondering, does that help the gap or does it increase it even further?
We have to ask ourselves why we have a lack of employees in certain fields. With my job specifically, I know a couple of areas and a couple of reasons why. With my job specifically, in your industry, I'm not 100% pertinent or professional, but I will say what I've learned. Sriracha sauce, how you doing? Oh, that's your man. Hi, that's some Carmen's homeboy. What's
up,
bro?
buddy? How you doing?
Hey, excellent show to you and Carmen. Honestly, Carmen, I'm going to go into let me sidebar real quick. I apologize, Carmen. You was up there having a ball,
and that's good. That's what you should have.
You was having a ball. That's the fun I have when I broadcast. It's good to see that you was enjoying yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. Back to the original point with your field, Ted. A lot of people don't have patience. A lot of people aren't good on math and good on computers. It can be intimidating. I think that's the biggest situation you have with your field. And then you also got people who will leak information. They can't keep a security clearance standard, if you will. Now, you would have to tell me if I'm wrong, but those will be my first impressions as far as what's going on, while there will be anybody lacking in your career field.
No, I will tell you definitely. It's just the stuff that I talked about before. Is there's gaps.
Yes.
There's gaps because there's not enough.
What's the reason that there are gaps in your field would be what I would ask you. There's somebody from the outside looking in.
It's not enough people that have either the certifications or have they don't have the certifications or they don't have the specific knowledge to do whatever specific functions. So hence when you run into a situation when these type of positions go offshore,
Right.
Because that skill set has to exist. You have to do that specific job.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were also employing people offshore, O'Connors, if you will, who were doing it. And I reference early 2000s. They were getting a lot of people to be the telemarketers or the telephone operators for specific fields, and also to do the technology jobs in those areas because they were faster at learning it than we are. Would you agree with
that? That's a question that could be its own discussion.
Okay.
That could be its own discussion.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you, I guess my first question of the evening is Memorial Day is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
Salute to you.
Appreciate it.
Salute to everyone who has served, those who are not here. So with the upcoming Memorial Day weekend kicking off, summer party season, and there's a couple of things that I had read this past week about house parties are the most recent victim of inflation. So according to a survey, 69% hate throwing house parties. Respondents say that it's too expensive, and many are planning to provide less food and drinks. And despite the added cost, and guests are expecting a lot, especially boomer relatives. So 3 and 4 boomer believe that it's rude to ask guests to pay for their own food and drinks. So is it about pinching pennies, or do we see that the costs these days are something that is no longer in the budget?
First of all, I don't like cleaning up behind folks, and too many folks don't know how to keep their stuff clean. Most times when I go to house parties, I try to help people clean up at the end of the day. Some people won't do that. That's number one. Number two, a bunch of folks still going to be cautious after the last pandemic, in my opinion. You really want a whole bunch of these?
Do you think people even think about that anymore?
Yes. I know people who do. Personally, myself, I do. So I will say yes. I also know what I went through. I would be cautious. I love my family. I love my friends, but I don't want none of y'all around me certain times, especially with what I went through. I want to be very cautious about who I'm around and what I do.
So are you not going to attend the graduation parties and summer barbecues? And
I have a party that I got invited to tomorrow night. One of my homeboys said he's going to have a get together. It's about 8 of us. We're going to go over there and play dominoes tomorrow after work. I got Jason this weekend, and next week because school is out, so I'll be chilling with him. A lot of people are being reserved with get-togethers because exactly, Random Rick, appreciate that. Exactly. They still don't. Nobody has treated that last situation the same because everybody's symptoms and conditions were different. Some people it bothered like me, some people it didn't. I know what it did to me. I would be cautious. I truly would. I think travel expenses will be another issue, and I will put that third to the other two that I told you. The first one is me being biased. The second one, I think, is a real fact that people need to think about whether they talk about it or not. The third one is going to be travel expenses. Gas ain't cheap. Hotels ain't cheap. Rental cars ain't cheap. Getting places isn't not a problem, but you got to pay for all of this stuff. And do you really want people staying up under you based on a lot of the conditions and a lot of what we saw over the past 2-3 years? I don't think we do. I may be wrong, but I will throw that out there. Also, for Memorial Day, I want to clear this up because this actually came up to me. This got brought up a couple of years ago. For any and everybody, first of all, as a veteran, I do thank you, and I appreciate everybody who does appreciate our service. Memorial Day is going to be for the people that we lost more than anything.
Those are the people that are no longer here.
Veterans Day is going to be for every veteran, but Memorial Day is going to be for the people that we lost. I actually have a couple of events this weekend that I got asked to attend for the VFW. And I told them I might try to make it. I may not be able to because Jason's going to be with me. They were like, bring him with you. I'm like, no, I'm not going to keep him out there all day. I'm not. I still watch him. I still protect him. Plus, he's still going to want to play. If I'm able to do both, I will. But this is mainly for a lot of the people that we lost. And this goes out to any and every soldier in the United States, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, that we lost. We even have the Space Force right now. If they lost anybody, even though they're a new branch, I don't know. I haven't heard much about them. Any and every veteran that we ever lost, this is the weekend specifically.
Tone, I want to ask you just two more follow-up questions about you going out this weekend. Because nearly 1 in 4 Americans are going to fewer parties.
Yes.
And it's due to the cost. So it's 25% of the people are going to fewer parties. Right. In America, we spend an average of $259 when hosting a party. What can you buy for $259?
How many people are you having?
It depends.
That's what it depends at. For me, I can do plenty with $250. I could even tell you what I can do with $250.
So tell me, what food, alcohol, decorations, and potlucks can you put together with hosting a party for $259?
Most of those people are going to be drinking beer. The second thing I would do, now my homeboy had a party. Actually, you know what? I take back what I said. My homeboy had a house party about 12 years ago. 13 years ago now. We was here. He planned to get together for a fight. He said he was going to fry shrimp, and he was expecting about 100 people. I said, you're going to fry shrimp for 100 people. I said, you realize how much shrimp you need to have? He said, no, we're going to be all right. They had about 3-4 bags of shrimp. I just looked.
For 100 people?
It was about, I think about 20 got there at first, and then when the fight came, more people started coming. I got there, and I was like,
what fight was it?
This was the 2010, around the spring or the beginning of the summer. I forgot who it was. So you all had to look that up. It was 2010. I was sitting there looking. I said, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Everybody gets one right. And they was frying. Listen, they had the grill. They had the little fryer going. The shrimps was going. I'm not going to lie. They had some shrimp, but I'm like, most people that I know will eat at least 10 shrimp without trying. I said, I'll be right back. I went to Chick-fil-A, ordered a party platter, had talked to Subway on the way to Chick-fil-A, was picking up my party platter from Subway, had also called another restaurant, ordered 100 lemon pepper wings, and came back with all that food. Then we had leftovers. He was like, dude, I said, I don't know what the hell y'all think. Look at all of us. The bunch of us that work together are at least $250. The women aren't going to eat that much, but they're still going to put a couple of those shrimp in there. They're going to eat at least 10 shrimp because shrimp ain't fattening. And then you got other folks coming after us. I don't know what y'all was thinking. And I wasn't even trying to play him out. I just didn't want nobody coming over there acting up in his house. We wound up having over 100 people at the house. And then people brought the liquor because they were like, do y'all need us to bring anything? Do y'all need us to bring anything? I said, listen, he's got this, and this. All these people here, y'all get some Ciroc, get some Hennessy, get some Crown. And that was back when Crown Black was the biggest thing out there. Crown Black and Hennessy Black were the two biggest bottles at that time. And then we had a Ciroc. I like the Ciroc pina colada. The coconut Ciroc. What's on the Chick-fil-A platter? I get the nuggets. I get the party nuggets, and they give you all the sauces. Let's be clear. About 6-7 of them nuggets on top of that shrimp, you good. It was a nice little combo I had. Then I got the lemon pepper wings, and I got the Subway sandwich. If you ever get a Subway sandwich to party platters, whoever's still hungry out there is a greedy bastard. Sorry. What's up, Takara? Takara says, what's up, Ted?
Hey, Takara, how you doing? Okay. So we've talked about your event planning, your party planning. Do you foresee yourself doing anything this weekend?
I'm taking it easy with Jason. I don't have a lot of the leeway that I would like to have. If I would have had it, I probably would have took him out of town. We would have went to Atlanta, saw our cousins, done a little bit of sightseeing. He actually has some friends around here he's trying to see more than anything. So it's cool. What's up, Leslie? How you doing? It's cool. Me and him will chill out. He really just wants to be around me, and that's a blessing.
Leslie, I'm waiting for the invite from Tony because I mean, what you were just talking about, I'm game.
Nah, like I said, I don't like cleaning up after folks, so don't set me up. No, he enjoys being around me. That's the blessing in itself, honestly. He want to see his friends, then he'll want to go back. He'll want to go hang out for a little bit, and then he'll be like, "Daddy, I'm ready to go." You sure? Mm-hmm. He'll come home and just sit up under me, and we watch TV together. He'll watch my iPad. I could take a nap. He get the snack. He gets to chill. He's good. He's good. I'm feeling good with that. I am. So having him around has always been a blessing, man. I want to go places. I want to do things. If I had it, I would just take him with me. I really would.
Oh, absolutely. Get into.
I'm listening.
We're not going to talk Carmelo Anthony.
We can, bro.
We're going to talk.
Melo retired, cuz you know what to cover Melo?
I don't know. I thought Melo should have retired a few years ago.
I agree. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it. I try my best. Even the most of the criticism I've gotten from a couple other jokers that I'm still going to hunt down. And y'all please save my bail money. That's all I got to say.
All right. Tone.
Yes, sir.
We thought DirecTV was out of the NFL Sunday ticket business. But guess what?
We should have known better.
You should have known better.
Leslie,
bars and restaurants. DirecTV is here to stay for bars and restaurants, and that's DirecTV for business. So YouTube TV, YouTube is still going to have the exclusive rights for residential customers. But the big question was about the bars. When you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and all the other places that you could potentially go to during the 1 and 4 o'clock games, or depending on your time zone, if you are at your favorite bar or pub or whatever like that, the games will still be available. And guess what? DirecTV is going to be providing this service to over 300,000 bars and restaurants and commercial establishments across the United States.
We should have seen that coming, Ted. You know that, right?
Of course. Of course. So hey, YouTube, Google, and YouTube TV, they're price gouging the fans, but at least you can still go to your local bar and pub. And in addition, Sunday Ticket, DirecTV Business also has Major League Baseball on Friday nights, Major League Soccer, and also Thursday Night Football. Should have seen it coming. We didn't. I'm not sure why.
Well, it was DirecTV, and what's the other one? Dish.
Yes.
Those two were the big ones. I couldn't remember it, but there was no way they wasn't going to find a way to jump back in the game, and there was no way it wasn't going to be allowed because of monopoly laws.
Correct.
Because of monopoly laws. So we should have seen it coming. 300,000 bars, yeah.
What's your thoughts on? I don't know if you're following it. Something that's going to hit people that enjoy watching the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about flexing games, and they've been flexing games over the years. Okay, mm-hmm. But what they're talking about now is flexing. If there's a game on Sunday, it could be flexed to the previous Thursday. So what happens if you fly into another state? Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm in New York. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm scheduled to go to Atlanta for a 1 o'clock Sunday game, and that game has now been flexed to Thursday. Or it's been flexed to Monday. So the Thursday before, or the, few days before, or the Monday after.
The local accommodations.
There's such greed.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of the reservations, travel plans, the accommodations, the scheduling, all that's going to be thrown off. I don't think it's going to work. Now, the players are against Thursday Night Football. We've been hearing that for years. The flexing of the schedule, I don't know. I really don't know.
But they're going to do it. They're going to do it, and it's not even about the people that are watching, because the people that are watching are going to be fine. They're going to watch something on Thursday nights or Sunday night or Monday nights or Sunday at 1 or at 4. It's the people, the actual fans that go to travel.
That's the issue. You would travel to games. Imagine if you get ready to go to a game, you bought a ticket, but then they reschedule it. Now you got to change everything up.
Yes.
And let's look at travel. You got to fight just to get to a game. Do you really want to deal with that change?
Right. So I think about, this was a few years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was going to go to Camden Yards in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Drove down there with Smoke.
Yeah. I remember
Smoke and I drove down there. Torrential rains on I-95. We left at like maybe 9 o'clock in the morning because the game was at 1:15. Only to arrive to find out the game had been flexed for ESPN at 8:08 at night.
And I know he was cussing his ass. Are you serious?
But I've seen that. I've seen it before, and I'm just like, okay, people are going to lose their minds.
Agreed.
But the thing is, it comes down to it. When you're so, hey Rick, how you doing?
Rick Costa was good.
When you're so greedy, and that's what these owners are, the level of greed.
Are we really talking greed? Honestly,
it's greed.
Okay, and I'm being honest about it. I don't know.
You don't think it's greed?
I'm not sure. Those are the games we want to cancel. Those are the games we want to cancel. Saturday games you can't have. Actually, I'm talking good about this. Saturday games you can't have college football. Friday night games you can't have high school football. Sunday is all NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they should do,
and
I think we brought this up before. Y'all forgive me. I had to put something on my stomach. I started getting the munchies. Every game can be shown. You're good, Carmen. Every game can be shown on Sunday if you work out a deal with the networks. Any network that turns down any NFL game is crazy right now.
Wait. Yes. They make more money showing these games outside of the 1 and 4 o'clock.
Fully understood.
They're making billions of dollars.
Yes, but most games are regional. Take somebody like me who likes the Jets. I don't get to see too many Jets games.
Mm-hmm. They want you to spend $400 for a Sunday ticket.
You're right, and that's what's going to come down to. I think I would like to see the network show the games, but as I think about it, it's another headache. Everybody has regional coverage. Yahoo Sports used to show games. Twitter used to show games. Amazon has shown games. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's ways to show games if you can't make it. They still need an audience. Every Sunday, you can pack your stadiums. The problem is getting the game to everybody.
You got to understand this. Mm-hmm. That sport is king.
Yes.
They get all the eyeballs. If you look at the top 100 shows for 2022,
NFL, NBA,
90% of the shows were sports, and of that 90%, 80% of it was NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got that, and then you also, I mean, and I don't mean to be on my soapbox right here, but you got like this past week, NBC purchased a playoff game that they're going to show exclusively on Peacock. Do you have Peacock?
I got Peacock. I don't have the paid version, but I got Peacock, yes.
Right. So if you want to see that game, you got to have the paid version of Peacock.
Yeah, I might have to go ahead and pay it for the wrestling pay-per-views too.
That's why I say, Tony, I say greed. I say greed because it's NBC had to pay $110 million to show a 3-hour football game exclusively on their streaming service that the world is definitely not going to want to miss. So they're going to have to pay up for Peacock.
I understand. I
don't know.
I understand. I'm just thinking variables, and you're right. Business
but it's just dollars and cents. That's what it comes down to.
Now, mind you, they're gonna make dollars when people watch it. Just got to make it accessible to everybody. Peacock is going to be the best streaming platform to use. JoJo, what's good? Peacock's going to be the best streaming platform to use because one, it was free, two, was low. They got nothing to do but the rise on it. Yeah, Peacock, you had Pluto. You know who else they should get in touch with, right? They should have got in touch with Tubi. I don't know why they haven't worked with them. Tubi be showing stuff live. Tubi be showing.
It's free. It's free.
Exactly. Peacock was too. They just started charging for wrestling.
It's free.
They just
I do want to give a shout out to Carmen and Rick because you guys weren't on. I was talking about your stream from earlier this evening. Once again, knocked it out the park. As always, you guys do a great job. Whether today when you were interviewing, that's from the heart. Whether you're interviewing a guest or you're just doing the hangout. So
yeah, his name is High. It was good. And Carmen, you missed my compliments earlier. I was telling you, you look like you was thoroughly enjoying yourself, and that's
good. That's good.
Exactly how I feel when I was up here. When I get all excited and crunk and just want to go, you look like you was having fun. You really did.
It shouldn't be.
Rick, you was all right. I heard you singing, Rick. You was all right.
He was singing Tina Turner, the very best of Tina Turner. You shouldn't be up here brooding and upset with the world. And I think this is
complaining, being negative, being pessimistic, being antagonistic, all of that. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's why I say she was thoroughly enjoying herself. You know what? And Carmen, I'm going to pick on you right now. You like to keep a schedule. You like to keep a time frame. You ran all the way the hell over. I don't want to hear it from you no more. You full of it. You full of it.
So I was sitting in the cheap seats, enjoying the stream, and a comment came up and it said, well, they're usually on at 10. Or they're usually on right after us.
I think she comes on at 9.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
she comes usually come on at 10. And I was like, I'm actually enjoying myself because, there's so much, I don't know. There's so much other stuff.
She wants to keep a format. She doesn't like to be up there long. And I've always understood that. But what I've noticed about, and Carmen, I'm going to tell you this again. When you start having fun, you start getting comfortable, you will go. You used to keep 30 minutes. You started going an hour. Now you're going over and out. And it's fun. It's good because yourself, you're going to do more with it. She used to always ask, why do y'all be up here so much? I was like, we always having fun. And I'm watching her enjoying herself.
That's good. But here's the other piece. The other piece, and Tony, don't get mad at me.
Sure.
The other piece is I know she comes up on Thursdays. So I know that's when to expect her, and she doesn't oversaturate herself.
Never does.
So she can focus on, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to give it the best I can do, and that's that. So that's why I enjoy the stream.
Yeah, she always did. She kept it straight to the point and just stopped right there. That's what she was used to do.
Mr. B, JoJo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
in the house.
What's happening, brothers? How y'all doing today? I don't know.
How are you doing?
Brother, I'm splendid. I'm truly enlightened. I'm on the other path. Man, I'm good, man. I'm good.
You sound like JoJo in the end of belly. What is going on here?
JoJo, you've been up here for, I don't know, 20 seconds. You have not talked about my Tony Stark glasses.
I see those. Nice pair, sir. Nice pair.
I just want to let you know, both of you guys.
What's happening?
I want to let both of you know that these are my imitation Tony D glasses that I got from Amazon. They were $6.99, and I got them with the coupon was like $3.99.
Bargain.
There you go.
See that?
Joe, what's going on? Joe, we were in a group text, and I had a pretty hot topic, and I don't know. I don't want anyone to get upset, but we live in New York. We both live in New York.
Sir.
We live about, maybe you and I might live about 40 miles away from each other, maybe 50
max.
Yes.
Tony used to live up here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk the debt ceiling, but this migrant crisis, Mr. B, I want to talk. Here's the aspect of it that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the semantics behind it, right? I don't want to talk about legal versus illegal and everything else about that, right? But I want to talk about Mayor Adams, who's dealing with this issue, and he's catching heat from Republicans and Democrats.
It's all over the news. It is.
It's all over the news.
It's all over the news.
My question to you, because I don't live in the city anymore. I used to live in the city 20 plus years ago. What are like his constituents? What are like some of like the local neighborhoods that is being used, whether the homes or the schools or the universities being used? Like, what are you hearing out there, JoJo?
Well, brothers, all right, let me stop because I came in here with this whole brother B and enlightened nonsense. I'm sorry. Yes. But yo, listen. Because now I gotta be serious. The thing with this whole situation, the migrants, man, they get an opportunity. They come out here, they come here, and there's a lot of play. You see them by the droves, man. And New York is one of the places here that, it's the melting pot.
City.
Everybody comes. Yeah, everybody comes here,
So Carmen is asking for a recap of what happened for those of us who haven't been paying attention. We were talking about the migrant crisis, but we were talking about specifically New York City, and the fact that the mayor of New York has been catching grief from not only Republicans, but also Democrats.
Yeah.
So Mr. B, Brother B, the enlightened one, lives within the city limits, and I wanted him to provide his emphasis on it.
Now, it's kind of crazy when you see a lot of what's going on in the news so far as people who are going through mental crisis, homelessness, and a lot of that is happening here in New York. It's happening in a lot of the Democratic states. I don't want to say, and even some of the Republican states is happening, but you see it a lot. It's transformed a lot of the Democratic states, man. You even hear like California's been transformed crazy, but I digress. We're talking about New York. Now, over here, you see all that happening. That issue's not being solved. A lot of the migrants who come in here, bro, you know how before, years ago, you have people who come in, immigrants, whatever, whatnot. You work your way, you get your visa, your green card, you work your way,
Right.
Go become a citizen. You know what I mean? You gotta live here for a set number of years. Become a citizen. Work hard. It's not like that nowadays. Nowadays, people, they just come. All those things are magically handled like nobody's business. Nobody goes through the real struggle, the hardship when it comes to coming in New York. Man, they lock you in the house. They give you, you know what I mean? If you see, I can tell you here in the Bronx, we've got so many motels made. It's crazy. It's like, it's insane. The Webster, because I live here on Burke, and Webster Gun Hill, from that end there all the way down through Webster, man, we probably got like 4+ brand new hotels, motels made. And the majority of the people aren't really people that just come in to go sleep. You know what I mean? Just random people. Oh, I need a hotel, I need a motel to sleep in. No, they're immigrants. They're migrants that are sitting there. They getting vouchers. They say they get to, stay in there for as much as they want. They got vouchers to do, to stay in places. Even in Manhattan, they get that opportunity. You get an opportunity, food stuff, and all that. And then you have people who really fighting their way to try to get these things, and people who really need it, you push aside for the other folks, man. And it's kind of a crazy situation that's going on here. It's crazy because, we're always built on you got to help one another, and yeah, so helping hands help each other. But man, you're looking at some of these people who are even people who were former immigrants or whatever are just upset, man, because it's like, yo, there is no it's like, when you hear a young kid talk about, oh, I go through the struggle, you'd be like, I go through the struggle as a black man, I go through the struggle. I don't even want to put it that way, but you understand. Kids, teens, be like, yo, I go through the struggle every day of being, being African American. And then their parents look at them and be like, you don't even know what struggle is. That type of saying, that something like that. Right. That's what it's coming around like. And it's crazy to see, but that's what's happening. Mayor Adams has a lot on his shoulders, man. And he can't mess that up because, hey, you have one big situation that's happening right now. It even went to trial over that guy who, took the life of the other guy in the subway. Yes. That whole situation, and that situation is like, here it is. It's pushed to the side somewhat. We done deal with all these other situations that's going on here, the migrants and all that. When these real situations over here where pedestrians are being worried about their own safety, riding subways and traveling, man, it's a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher because you talk about money needed for this and that, and it's put to a bunch of other crazy stuff instead of necessities that we need here in New York. We going through a lot, man. Like New York is going through a lot.
I'm with you because in Nassau County, in Suffolk County, so New York, Carmen, which you can see on the map, is so vast. But what happens in a city where Joe lives doesn't correlate to what happens over where I live. So like in Nassau County, the chief executive basically told the mayor of New York, don't send the migrants here. Mm-hmm. So then you hear the same thing for the chief executive for Suffolk County and for Westchester and Rockland County.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here saying, okay, wait a minute. You're a sanctuary city. You are receiving funds for being a sanctuary city, but he's catching heat coming and going. And what's the solution? I don't know what the solution is because I think hypothetically, Tony, Joe, and Brian, we were talking on text maybe a few months back, and we were talking about the office buildings in Manhattan.
Yeah.
The fact that if the workers aren't coming back to Manhattan and they're working from home, or you're running into these employers that are saying, hey, I'm going to
do this, do that, right?
Well, I'm going to let go of the real estate that I have in a specific location, and we're just going to send out laptops and screens and software and everything, and you can do your job from your house.
Yeah.
Look at all those empty office buildings.
Smoke was good.
Say it again.
Smoke.
Hey, Smoke, what's going on?
Smoke out here.
Maybe you can use that as a possible solution. But I think the numbers that are pouring in daily, is something where, because at one point it was 700 a day. At one point it slowed down to about 700 in a week. Now it's up to 1,000 a day because they're just arriving on buses.
Yep.
So it's like,
I got to go ahead and admit something. We got a problem. As
okay.
I put the numbers together in my head, and I think about the places that they're already at. I think about the city that they're going to. How long this has been going on. I've had this conversation on the other platform that a lot of people don't want me to be on anymore. We always hear close them, close them, close them. So you can't close the border. This country's founded on people coming here and getting their freedom. All your major cities are being hit. Your local areas are being hit. As I think about we putting them in certain areas that aren't being used anymore, you know what comes to my mind as soon as you say that? What has happened historically before when you did that? They left them alone. They become ghettos.
Yep. Say that again?
They become ghettos.
Ghettos.
Okay.
Yep.
And it hit me as you were saying it. We were good with it, but it just don't. We could put them here, we could put them there. They get sisters. People don't want to be around it. The crime goes up. They can't get a job. They live in a public assistance. They become a ghetto.
Okay.
So that's the future that I see. And I hate to say it like that on purpose because we do have a lot of them coming here seeking asylum more than we have them coming over here being criminals. I had that discussion with people before. They want to close the borders, but you will realize a lot of the people that are coming here are working jobs we don't want to. If you don't believe me, go to a hotel and tell me the last American you see working housekeeping. Go to a construction site, tell me the next American you see out there. Go to some of these fast food jobs. You'll see some here, you'll see some there. But go to a lot of places, you will see a lot of people from other countries working the jobs. A lot of Americans don't feel like they want to work anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
But as far as housing them, that is another issue. We know what's going on in New York. Yes, it's on the news. Every time I go to another city and I stay in a hotel, I see somebody from another country working that's not American. Everybody needs to be factual about that. A lot of them are working. Where they're going to stay, how they're going to raise their families, where they're sending their money back to. A bunch of them are still trying to come over here. And I just saw the video last week of what the border's looking like when Border Patrol comes out there to see all the clothes and everything along the rivers. Yeah, it's getting pretty bad. I don't know if it's exaggerated or not. I would love for us to be able to talk to somebody on Border Patrol and tell us the truth.
So Title 42 expired.
See, there you go. There you go, Smoke.
Title 42 expired.
Yeah.
And
oh my God,
made the situation, I guess, even worse.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just saying, you know, because it's easy to sit here and say, okay, don't send them here, don't send them there. But I don't see too many people offering suggestions to the mayor, is what I'm saying.
You're right.
No.
You're right. Because of the crime stereotype and the crime element.
Well, yeah, the crime and the homelessness and everything else like that. And you're just like,
homelessness. That was the other thing. Have you seen El Paso lately? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's when I had to go, okay, now I see what everybody's saying. Now I see.
Yeah.
I knew El Paso was bad. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yo, it's bad, man.
Yes. Ted, you get a chance. Look up El Paso about a week or two ago.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It's bad, man.
Now I see what they're talking about.
It's bad. And it's not
everywhere on the street looking like 1970 New York with the homeless. It's that bad, bro. No joke.
And what's crazy, a lot of that is because of some of the is the people, but some of that is due to some of the
politicians.
Drugs and the politicians don't. Some of the politicians, they really don't give a damn. As far as Mexico goes, they don't give a damn. But we talking about, you know what I mean, gangs and drugs and a lot of other stuff.
Gangs and drugs. Yeah. Gangs and drugs. Yeah, that's a given. You know that.
Drugs cartel, man. These people run you out of house and home, man. It's a crazy place. It's crazy, man. It's insane. And it is crazy.
El Paso was very bad, and I had to sit back and understand where people are coming from when I saw it. El Paso is very bad, what I saw.
Okay.
Very bad. Very, very bad.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. You know, that there and neglect, even neglect, just neglect because nobody's trying to help over there. They look and they see what's happening there. It's like, yo, we out of here, man. We don't want to deal with
I've
it,
heard about have been
and it's
El
a scary
Paso,
place.
Ciudad Juarez, El Paso. I haven't heard it that bad at Tijuana, and that's another border city. But El Paso and Ciudad Juarez were the two worst ones that I've seen recently.
Mm. All right. We'll table this for future discussion. Mm-hmm. Joe, what's going on this week in combat sports?
Not much, man. Not much.
It's quiet.
So I'm here enlightened, man. That's why I'm here enlightened. Ain't no violence happening, man. I'm all about peace. But nah, to help you out real quick, we got some light stuff. Nothing special. You know, they got LFA happening. LFA is going down this weekend. If I remember correctly, what is it? LFA, I want to say, was it LFA 159? If I remember correctly. Yeah, LFA 159. They got an interim light heavyweight fight going between Rodolfo Balado and Acacio dos Santos. There you go. Ooh, I was about to fumble that. That's gonna be. I think if I remember correctly, that's gonna be live in Brazil. I think so. Yeah, is it Brazil? Yes, Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's about a 12-fight card, but you know they only show the main card portion, so it's 6 fights on there. Some good fights, man. They got a good prospect, Geraldo Neto, that's gonna be fighting on there. Lucas Rocha, who's undefeated at flyweight, he's pretty dope. It's a straight up Brazilian fighters, and then you got Junior Luis versus Anderson Ferreira. But Geraldo Neto and Lucas Rocha are 2 fighters you gotta pay attention to if you're into MMA. KSW is on this weekend as well. That's the Russian promotion. I know, Ted, you be on my case for trying to stream some of the events, man. I'll try my best because we got boxing, but if I don't stream it on Saturday, then you know I do that stream on Sunday. But KSW 83 Coliseum 2, really good events, man. Really good events. You know, everybody through the European and Russian area there, region, are gonna be fighting. We got Mamed Khalidov, who's a really big deal at middleweight. He's gonna be fighting Scott Askham. Askham fought a little bit everywhere. He fought on Cage Warriors. Askham also fought in the UFC a little bit. He's 19-5 out of England. Good fight there. We got the lightweight championship versus between Marion Okay, got it. Zlakowski, there you go. Against Saladin Parnassi. There you go. Yes, out of Italy, not Italy, France. He's 7-1. Marion is 25-8-1. We also got a good couple fights. You also have the vacant middleweight title fight between Paul Paulak and Thomas Romanowski. Romanowski is a name because Romanowski fought in Bellator, if I remember correctly. He had a brief stint in the UFC. He fought in a couple other regional areas of organizations too. Really good stuff. But what we here for, there's boxing going on this weekend. Yes. And boy, oh boy, there's some boxing that's going on and there's some boxing news that's happened. So we have Luis Alberto Lopez versus Michael Conlan that's going to be taking place on Saturday. I'm very happy. I like Michael Conlan. Michael Conlan's my dude. They robbed him in the Olympics a couple years back. I did not like that. I was very upset by that. You know, things happen, but they robbed my mans, and that was not what's up. So he will be out here fighting Lawrence. No. My fault. Fighting Luis Alberto Lopez. That's gonna be fire. A dude that actually beat him is also gonna be fighting on Saturday as well. As Leigh Wood goes, the name. So Leigh Wood is gonna be fighting Mauricio Lara for the WBA featherweight title in an epic rematch that took place last year. if I remember correctly. Was it last year or earlier this year? But it was where Leigh Wood got knocked out in like the 7th round, if I remember. I think it was the 7th or 9th round. He got dropped bad. So bad that the corner had to throw in the towel. This dude wanted to fight, but they said, nah, buddy. Nah, that's not happening.
Wow.
So he'll be back here fighting this 12 rounder again on the zone. So that will be very, very exciting to see, man. I can't wait for that. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence was announced.
Finally.
Yeah. So we getting that. Was it July, right?
Getting that in July 29th.
Yes, sir. July 29th. We getting that happening. What's that girl? Franson and who was it? Savannah Marshall. That's supposed to be happening. Somewhere down the line. I forgot exactly the day. But it's for there you go. Franchon Cruz Dezern versus Savannah Marshall for the super middleweight title. You know, Clarissa Shields has the the light titles. So she has the light titles, the light middleweight titles. So this girl gonna be moving up. She's gonna fight Franson. Franson literally has all the super middleweight titles. She's a beast, yo. She's a heavier version of what's our girl's name, man? She just fought Michaela Mir. Oh no, don't tell me I'm gonna forget. Lisa Baumgartner, there you go. She's like she's a bigger Lisa Baumgartner. Real aggressive in her boxing.
Right.
Throws really nasty, heavy shots to the body. Good stuff, man. But yeah, man. Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez was announced eventually. Floyd Mayweather next month fighting John Gotti III. Regis Prograis gonna be defending his titles against Leon Paro, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But yeah, man. Other than that, that's happening. John Jones has some nonsense to talk, but that's neither nor him and Tyson Fury talking. Dana White talking bull crap. Yeah, you know that. Oh, yeah. And in MMA, it was announced that the UFC made $387 million in profit with a $1.2 billion in revenue. So, wow. It's big. They made the biggest profit, I think, out of every other combat sport that's happening, whether in other MMA organizations and or boxing. So that is crazy. That is crazy. It's projected to go to 4 million come the next year.
400
which leaves you a lot of questions. Yeah, 400 million.
400 million,
yeah, which leaves a lot of questions because John and Francis could have had this fight and they both could have got paid and a lot of things could have happened.
Yeah.
But Dana White's just being a scumbag, man. So it is what it is. But other than that, that's all that's happened. Yeah.
You think Dana White's trying to make sure he doesn't get bought out? I think he is. He's doing deals with everybody, but he's still going to keep his name and keep his ownership because people are trying to squeeze him out. I can see it already.
Nah. You
think so? Dana's the one. Dana's a guy who he plays the game very well. Tony's right. He plays the game.
JoJo froze. I say that
game very well. So none of those situations happen.
Vince I'm here. Is trying to buy everybody out. Sorry, JoJo. You had froze for a little bit. My bad, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is buying everybody out. He's got NXT. I think he's about to buy AEW based on the comments we was talking in the group chat today. Yeah. So you know what's next after that.
Since that whole that union between WWE and the UFC under Endeavor, man, there's been a lot of power plays that's been happening. Yep. Some very interesting stuff. And I see, Ted, you brought up an article talking about how the NFL, they're trying to move to make some cinematic stuff happen.
Yes.
Movie-wise.
Yes.
Now the UFC are going about trying to do this movie-wise, where they're trying to make a cinematic movie, and they're working with Adam Sandler to make a UFC-based movie, which is kind of crazy because we had one with Kevin James. Here Comes the Boom. But that wasn't UFC-based.
There's been a few.
Yeah, the couple, but none of them are UFC-based. None of them are really.
Right.
They've worked with UFC. Specifically UFC. But now this one is going to be specifically UFC, but a comedy movie under the UFC Endeavor banner, it seems to be like. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see how Endeavor is putting their footprints into both of these companies, both the WWE and the UFC, to make things entertainment, cinematic entertainment, as well as, sports entertainment. So
if you listen to them close enough, they'll tell you they have the playbook. They already have the playbook. They know what they're doing. All they have to do now is execute.
Yeah. And so far they've done a lot of good things. And they've done very well in trying to dumb down Francis Ngannou's announcement to the PFL.
Yes.
They've done that by announcing all these big fights per Dana White. Whenever somebody makes a big move outside the organization, he tends to go out here and lay down all these fights and all these announcements for these certain spots they're returning to and all that stuff. So
and here's my conspiracy theory on this. It's similar to Carmelo Anthony announcing his retirement, and 10 hours later, LeBron talking about, I don't know if this could be it for me. I've got to take the time.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, something like that.
The discussion was no longer about the Lakers getting swept. It was about whether LeBron was done.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, like
master manipulator.
I could call BS on LeBron being done because LeBron is far from done. He just ain't winning like they want him to.
Yeah.
He is far from done. He played fine, but he's not winning like they want him to. He will still get on the court and run up and down the court with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just want him to have all them rings to back up all his playing time.
Exactly. And
you just threw me when you said that. Sorry.
Word. The GM did everything he could do, man, to build up that team, and
he did.
But what's wrong with the team? All you former LeBron players, how come y'all ain't got rings with the dude that's going down as pretty much the best player in the past 2 decades?
Yo, it's crazy.
Bunch of y'all are NBA Hall of Fame, all stars, all defensive, all this, all that. But y'all all ain't got a ring together.
Yeah, when y'all need to step up the game, y'all not stepping up the game, and that man is playing balls to the wall basketball, man. Like, it's crazy, bro.
I just want to ask. I think it's time to talk to NBA players about this.
Yeah, man.
I had something. I didn't know if he was going to join or not, but he's not. This is for Brian. Madden 24 as crossplay for PS5, Xbox X, and PC online users.
Just when you thought video conferencing was an issue online, this is about to be a problem.
This is about to be something.
That is about to be a
disappeared.
problem.
Oh, no.
If you think people do too much social media, wait till that Madden goes across all platforms together.
Let me tell you something. If you guys are playing, don't play no Xbox players. Xbox players are the most ruthless Madden players that there are, bro. I'm telling you this from firsthand experience. Those dudes are menaces. Word to everything I love.
PS5 players are worse.
You would think. You would think.
I would think that, for real.
Yo, Xbox players, not only will they beat you, they will talk trash throughout the entire game. I don't know. Xbox players are built different, man. They are built different.
I'm going to get an old Atari VCS and I'm going back to Paperboy. Y'all can have that mess. I'm not doing this.
Heck yeah, man. Oh my God.
So this crossplay was introduced with FIFA 23, which allowed players to compete with and against each other in several 1v1 modes and ultimate teams. So, unfortunately, the same luxury didn't apply to the pro clubs and ultimate team co-op. So, certain aspects are going to be available for Madden 24. It still has to get teased out, but I thought Brian would appreciate that the most, being a gamer.
I'm not a big gamer, but that's going to be huge. And I've known a lot of Madden players. That is monstrous for Madden players. I see that as profitable. There are a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be huge, and crossing all the lines, crossing all the barriers. You know who else is going to benefit? I see NFTs jumping in on that soon. If they're not in it already, because NFTs are mainly for the coins for a lot of the gamers. So NFTs and Twitch, I think, will benefit from this highly.
Oh yes,
highly.
Yeah.
YouTube is probably going to get a piece of it as well. I don't know about Facebook and Twitter as much, but definitely NFTs and Twitch, they're going to skyrocket off of a merger like that. And they would invest into it. They're going to see a major return. These cats play all day, all around the world, all demographics.
Yep.
I'm going to say male demographics more than female. I don't know too many female players, so ladies forgive me, but that's going to be huge. That's monstrous.
And talk about the tournaments. Oh my God.
Dude.
The tournament lineups are going to be insane.
Spoiler alert, you better watch the AIs on them games.
Yeah, man. Oh my God.
That's just being real.
Two more things to mention. The IRS moves forward with a free e-filing system in pilot program to launch in 2024. So you remember all the TurboTax lawsuits that they've been talking about recently? TurboTax owes millions upon millions of dollars to hundreds of thousands of people because if you're just filing like a 1040 EZ form, that should be free.
Right. They were charging.
Yeah, they were charging. So IRS is stepping in to ensure that, hey, we're going to roll out this pilot that if you just have to perform a 1040 EZ, meaning, the most simplest, you don't own a home, you don't own this, you don't own that, you just want to throw in what your W-2 is listed as. You can do that really quickly by using the control number and call it a day.
Yes. Thought I heard a beep. The only thing I got with TurboTax and those 1040 EZ forms, they made it seem simple. I'm quite sure somebody caught something. They saw something that they missed. Because most people have a problem doing their taxes by themselves. I'm one of them.
Right.
I can think I did something wrong, and I promise you something else is going to happen. And by the time you get through about 6 or 7 of them steps, let me go find somebody else.
True that.
What else? Social media is bad for our youth.
Has been. We've always been cautious of it. Stalkers, predators, hackers.
It's this week there was more reports. There was more reports than usual.
Really?
Yeah, it's not healthy for the youth, for their mental. It's not healthy just in general. You need to limit it. I think that goes across not just with the youth.
Does it benefit your wealth or your mental health?
Then you got the YouTubers who are getting assaulted and all that.
Yeah.
For prank videos. Dude. I see one kid, he got shot. That's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're breaking the rules up there. We got to stop a lot of the extremisms on social media. People trying to push the envelope too hard. That's why folks are dying.
Yeah.
Well, but are they pushing it too hard because they want clicks?
Yes.
I
was thinking about this last week. I told everybody last year before. Definitely, I was telling Brother Shannon, watch the movie Ron Goes Wrong. Watch that movie. Nobody paid attention to what they were saying for real. Watch that movie. They talked about kids on social media. They specified it, the good and the bad. And it should have hit every parent, anybody that's worried about social media. They showed the truth. This little girl, she had a little social media. She had her little friends or whatever. She was doing everything for the likes and the follows and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Something negative happened. When that got out, her numbers kept skyrocketing. And when she wanted it to stop, it wouldn't. And it depressed her.
Mm.
It's just a character. It's just a cartoon. But y'all got to remember, that movie came out about 2-3 years ago. The situation like that happened 18 years ago in Colorado. Remember that homosexual kid that killed himself because of online bullying?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm just being real with all this.
Yeah.
We got to be careful with social media and our kids. Jason asked me the other day, can I get this? I said, nope. Nope. No. He said, Daddy, my friends got it. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Daddy, you on YouTube? Yeah, I am. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we had a couple years ago, we had a young pro wrestler, Hana Kimura, passed away because of
online bullying.
Yeah, online bullying. Yeah.
And a bunch of you periscopers out there, what's that girl's name that killed herself last year?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Some of y'all do too much. Sorry, let me stop.
Yeah, it's true. They be doing too much.
This ain't my broadcast. Sorry, Ted.
Nah, it's all right. I mean, it's true, though. People be trying to do the most, man. It's like, bruh.
I should have called. Oof. Let me stand up and walk. I'm about to. Go ahead.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. There was a couple, you know. You had the girl on Facebook during 2020, you know. She had a joint broadcaster between Periscope and Facebook. And, you know.
And what's worse is the motherfuckers that laugh about it. I'm sorry.
It's aggravating.
Edit that out, Ted. Edit that out. My bad.
It's aggravating.
Yeah, no. That's.
Nah, it's aggravating.
I'm just going to upload it as explicit. We're good.
Yeah, my apologies. My apologies. On your show, man. But when these folks start killing themselves and people don't be caring and a bunch of them want to see who else they can do it to, it bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah.
This is why we got a problem with social. Let me stop.
Do you want to talk real briefly about Ja Morant and him needing a welfare check or wellness check?
I saw the notification. I didn't look at the story specifically. Y'all tell me
what
what
a wellness check because he posted like goodbye with pictures of his family and stuff like that. And
posted some pictures, and he left a message that said bye.
That
so they did a wellness check on him.
Did a wellness check. The police were at his house.
Yeah. They found him. He was fine.
He's fine. He was fine.
Yeah. So now it's wondering now, you know, I tell you, you talked about it in the group chat. You know, you said, man needs help. Is it that he needs help or is it, you know, a PR type situation?
Yeah. And you got to play devil's advocate sometimes.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Yeah, because it's like, yo, he could need help, but, you know, if you saying, you know, mental illness, you know, mental health ain't well, it's one thing if it really ain't well. But if you're doing this to soften the blow of all the other craziness that's been going on so far, brother, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have problems for real.
So the question I have is, we always hear, and I know there's gonna be some blowback, but we always hear about the vaunted brotherhood in the NBA. We always hear about the brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know, we're brothers. We look out for each other. We do this. We do this. We. So I mean, and even if he's a hardhead, even if he's as stubborn as can be, like NBA PA, vets, the legends, like who steps in? Because the NBA doesn't have a Tony Dungy. Like when a football player does something stupid,
Tony Dungy talks to him. Yeah, Herm Edwards talks to him. Yeah, NBA
Tony Dungy goes and talks to him.
They talked to Ja Morant. A bunch of them said they talked to him.
Right.
And they started roasting him after this second one. They jumped in on him. Can he be depressed? Yes. Two things come to my head. I wish Glick was here. He would play the X-Files music. I got a conspiracy theory in my head. I'm going to leave that alone. Second, I think all of this negative press, I think he's going to lose a bunch of his money. That potential
he's already lost that money.
Yeah, the potential contract is gone, which may be his depression. And people don't realize he can also face lawsuits after that contract is gone. So
I think there's lawsuits already pending.
Yes, so he could technically be broke. Technically, he could be broke, even though he didn't do a danger against anybody. I like what JJ Redick said. You mad at him, and he didn't point the gun at nobody. Y'all got other videos of people doing worse things with guns. All he did was flash a little bit. JJ Redick went off in his defense, and him and Stephen A got into it. JJ Redick, and JJ Redick was right.
But what about the 17-year-old kid that he put hands and feet on?
Yeah, that's what's going to get him. See, anything he did, they're going to start digging up into worse stuff that he has done. I agree with you. So, like I said, that money's going backwards right now, and it's going to keep going backwards.
It's just, and like I said, maybe I'm wrong. But like I said, I'm like, where's the brotherhood? Where's the?
I honestly think people did try to talk to him, Ted.
Where's the legends?
I saw a couple clips where they were like, they talked to him. He had to talk to them there. And we have to be naive to not think that a bunch of these guys haven't reached out to him by now.
Right.
We'd have to be naive. If you got $200 million, I'm quite sure a few people like sit down. Okay, I'll throw myself out here for this broadcast and for everybody in the community. How many times have y'all told me to stop doing stuff and I kept doing it?
Yeah.
True.
And all we got to do is survive.
True.
Yeah.
So we would have to be naive to not think anybody didn't talk to him. I'm just being real. Like I said, I will throw myself out there for his defense. We actually talked about it. Ja Morant, that second one, he wasn't even pointing at anybody. He just had it. And his homeboy tried. He wasn't even trying to put him on camera. It was an accident. They caught him that quick doing something negative. Yep. And it's going to cost him everything. How many times have you all told me it goes to you, Ace, JoJo, Carmen, Rick, Helen, all of y'all, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Okay. But I'll still do something, and all of y'all be like, you know what, the hell with it.
Yeah, man. So that's the situation.
So for him, and I'll say this to him, you got to be yourself, but you got to be smart. I've lost a lot of support not listening to any and everything everybody said. But I also think he might have been in a situation he wasn't comfortable in. Nobody's talking about that yet. $200 million comes with a few things, and a few people before him that made a couple of $100 million, what did they go through to keep that money? Will be a question I would ask a lot of folks. I would say James Harden, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James early in the mix. Exactly, Rick. That's another one. You know what? I will irritate the hell out of y'all by doing that compared to some of the other stuff everybody else is mad at me about.
I'm just talking about Tony D frying eggs or whipping up something special
during the football broadcast.
And then all you hear is the utensil, the fork, clanging against the plates.
Oh my God!
In real life.
Yeah.
I hope he makes it. I hope he isn't being penalized. I hope he's not being penalized as much as they're saying. If he loses half the season, that's going to hurt. If he loses the contract, that's going to hurt. Then he's going to have lawsuits, which is going to compound the loss. The potential money that he was going to make is going to be based off of those lawsuits, so he won't have any money. And then they're going to stick him in a situation where he's going to be in the NBA for life.
Yeah, they already penalized them, taking away that Powerade sponsorship.
Yes.
39 million.
And even the gang leader sitting talking about he gonna have to pay.
That's wild.
That's wild.
They were saying the news, he got to pay. I'm like, oh
yeah. JoJo, where's the best ways we can find you?
Yo, man, I'm on Twitter. New Year, same B at Mr. B 1986. Find me over there. I retweet stuff. I tweet stuff. I chat nonsense. We watched Power Slap yesterday. That was crazy. On Wednesday, that was crazy. God bless Power Slap because it ain't gonna go nowhere much, but at least it's there. I got OK Live, Mr. B. I stream stuff on the weekend. Whenever there's fights around, I'm streaming fights and doing commentary, talking about what's happening there. Sometimes it's a mix of seriousness and humor, but it's there. But yeah, man. I'm on here with y'all guys from time to time. I'm doing my own thing. Sometimes now it's Sundays or Wednesdays. The B-sides of the fight game, Mr. B. I do this little thing. I conversate about the events during the week, and I put some thoughts. Last episode was pretty good. We shared some thoughts there about Lomachenko's fight and the Lomachenko-Haney fight. That was pretty dope. Yeah, man, because everybody's still talking about Loma. Loma won. Loma got cheated. It was a close fight between the two. You can't have an argument for either side of who won. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's where you see me, man. OK Live, Mr. B. New Year, same B. Mr. B 1986 on Twitter. Yes, sir.
Just as Mr. B, is a follow-up question. If you were Devin Haney, would you give Lomachenko a rematch? Scary, right? Scary question.
Scary. But yes, I would. Yes, I would. And there's a reason why. There'll be a lot more on the table if you're Devin Haney to take that rematch with Vasily Lomachenko. That's it. It's really, there's a lot of money on there. Aaron will put up money to have that fight, to have a rematch, because Aaron felt like Loma won. You know, I think Haney re-signed with these guys at Top Rank, so he's gonna make money again. There's a lot on the table. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Make it happen.
Tony D, where's the best way we can get in contact with you?
Tony did that original on Linktree. I'm actually kind of exhausted. I'm tired of going through everything. But I know Ted, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. You can find me on Twitter, TONYTON163. You can find me on Twitch, TONYTON72. You can find me on Instagram, TONYTON722. You can find me on TikTok, TONYTON19723. I actually was doing a broadcast earlier today. I just did a random mix of some hip-hop songs. Check me out on my Mixcloud. It's also on my Linktree. The full replay is on my Twitter. I tend to go live on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Mixcloud all at once. I tend to multi-stream. I've been doing it for months now. I'm thinking about changing a few things up. I got a couple of marathons. I got a marathon that got requested earlier today. So expect a marathon from me this weekend. 3-day weekend, I'll have my boy. I don't know if I'm going to be on much, but I will try to throw something together. Jojo, good seeing you. Ted, good seeing you. Rick and Carmen, honestly, today's broadcast was excellent from the both of you. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of good vibe. I mean, nice, excellent conversation between y'all, for real. Big ups. Ace, appreciate you coming through. Who else we got up in here? We had
Sweet Pea.
Sriracha Sauce. Good to meet you. Sweet Pea was in here. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet Pea's always been supportive of everybody. Random Rick was in here. Random Rick is actually on right now. Hella was in here. Tim Conrad was in here. I'm always going to miss the community. I pushed the envelope. I admitted it to myself. I'm trying to be quiet about it. I miss the community. I miss what we had. I miss the support we always gave to each other. It's driven me nuts, but I'm going to stop talking about it. I am. If we broadcast, we live streaming, everybody share each other's stuff. I'm guilty of not sharing everybody, but I want to push it for all of us to keep it going no matter what. There's a future coming with how we broadcast that I think I do see. And I'm telling every last one of us right now, we need to keep doing what we're doing and keep supporting each other. I'm serious. I'm serious for real. Appreciate you, man.
Yep, power slap is where people get slapped unconscious. That's correct.
Craziness.
Definitely right. Insane.
Concussion City.
Straight up.
Yeah. And I am the real Ted Hicks, and we are out. See you next week.
Appreciate you, bro.
Good night, y'all.